Welcome to the Weekly Word. Glad you could join us again this week. We're going back in time to the year 1935 at an old CCC camp, Civilian Conservation Corp. We're at Camp Rolling Stone, just off the Unicoi Turnpike Trail near Coca Creek, Tennessee. This camp existed from 1933 to 1937 to be exact. And I'm standing in what was probably the main building, and you can see this monster fireplace that they had. I mean, boy, you could have put some big logs in there, and they had lots of manpower to do it with all those young men they used back during the Depression when there wasn't any jobs. They were government jobs, and they built a really nice place here. Lots of these CCC camps in the mountains. They did an awful lot of work. Getting close to a century ago now, that we still enjoy the fruits from their labors. A lot of times you don't realize a lot of those little rock walls and things you see in the mountains were things that were built by the CCC boys way back then. We're going to try something different on this video. I don't know how it'll work out. It may be a little shaky, but we're going to take a hike and show you some of the things in this old CCC camp here. If you want to just follow me around, we'll leave the main building and just take a little hike through the woods here, just another 50 feet or so, to the next point of interest. As you can see the steps, this may have been pushed around over the years, but this may have been the steps in that main building over there at one time. It's really nice concrete steps that they have here. This whole area, you want to pan the camera all around through here. I've seen pictures. It was a big grassy field, and if you pan the camera right over the top of the chimney right there now, you can get an idea of just how large the trees are in here now as the forest has reclaimed it. But there were lots of things in here. There would have been cabins. They had tents all along through here for them to stay in. They dammed up the little branch, as they did at all CCC camps, and made what they call the swimming hole. I think it's more a place for them to take a bath than anything else. But had all the conveniences of home, probably better conveniences than most of those boys knew from home back in the 30s. Well, follow me on over here a little bit. I'll show you the refrigerator. They picked a nice flat area out here to build this Camp Rolling Stone. Right over here, you see we're going up to what I'd call today, it's the equivalent of our modern refrigerator. Come on over and take a look at it. You can see all this concrete work. Come on up and look down in it. It kind of looks like, reminds you of going up to the fish hatchery and looking in some of the runs. They had diverted the stream to come through here, and the cold water would have been coming down through here into this one and this one, and there's a hole there I guess it pulled up in. But I guess this is how they kept their milk and things cold. If you see growing in the bottom of it right here now is a little stand of Pipsissewa, also known as rat's vein, that little plant growing over there. But that'll be a different weekly word. We'll do one later on Pipsissewa. But here we are at Camp Rolling Stone, talking about the old CCC boys from long ago. And see, what happened is during the Great Depression, there were no jobs, and the government, they didn't send people a check at home. You had to, they offered jobs, and these young men, they would come out and they'd stay in these camps, and they'd pay them $1 a day. And they would let them keep, I think it was $5 of that each month. The rest of it had to be sent home to take care of their families. Boy, that's a far cry from where we are today, when we've got able-bodied American men that want to lay around on the porch and just go to the mailbox and get their check out. That's the worst thing we've ever thought of, doing people that way, because what it does is every time you get that check that you did not earn, it robs your self-esteem, and it turns folks into drug addicts and alcoholics, and we're doing that to people in the name of what we call doing good. Man, if you're on welfare and can't get a job or something, that's one thing, but find something to do, even if it pays less than you're making on the government check. If you do something good, you'll feel good about yourself, and you'll be a better human being, and you'll grow and mature as a human being. And we got away from the Bible is what we did, because, you know, the Bible says if they won't work, that's not the same as can't work, but it says if they won't work, let them not eat. That's in the book of 1 Thessalonians, by the way. If they won't work, let them not eat. I thought that was a great idea they had back in the 30s under Roosevelt, when they said, let's give them something to do and pay them $1 a day. That's better than them staying at home and trying to help them for doing nothing. See, they learned skills, they learned trades, and they felt good about themselves, and they made the greatest generation that ever came out of this country. In fact, that's how the CCC program finally ended. In 1942, World War II broke out, and we didn't have the men for the camps anymore. They had to go overseas and fight the war. Anyhow, thank God for them. Maybe we can develop another good generation before it's all said and done. See you next week on the Weekly Word.